Hello. Hello. Testing. All right. Looks like it's working. You fucking knew. You fucking knew. Like you literally fucking knew. Like it's literally perfect setup to buy. Retest a 3 hour breakout zone. One, one of the times I do. Uh, oh man. All right. What's going on, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn this off. A little chill vibes music there. What's going on? It's No Noise. This is Z Rex. It is what? January something? 29th? No, 30th. Ooh, 30th already. We're going to do some live analysis on the markets. We do have Fed week this week. Yay, everyone's favorite people. FOMC is on Wednesday. I think they're going to do 25 points, whatever. Good old Fed. Everyone just really loves the Fed. Like I said, everyone's favorite person. Let's see. We'll see if they hike more. I'm pretty sure it's 25 points. I kind of just don't pay attention too much to that kind of stuff. I like to just watch DOS charts. And speaking of, let's just go ahead and look at some of these charts. All right, let's go to Mama Bear. We'll start with that and go down the normal list here. We are just still struggling right under 24,000. It's not going to be much different than the last few videos. We're just lollygagging around here. Let's zoom in a little bit on the daily. So we did actually get a nice daily open and close yesterday above all this range. So that I guess that is one thing that's different. And we also got it on the 8 hour ish. I use a 458, but if you don't have the paid things, you can't paid subscription, you can't do custom time frames. But anyway, it's pretty much an 8 hour. And we were watching it struggle for many, many candles. And we finally did get back above it and almost tapped 24. We'll just call it 24. Close is close enough. I mean, it's like freaking $40 shy or whatever it is. So we pretty much tapped that and getting a little sell pressure as expected. And it is just coming back to test this zone. So, I mean, if bulls kind of can defend this little cluster right here, that would look pretty good on lower time frames and even actually up to the daily. Oh, I guess the daily, not really, because it's only like one candle. We need a few more to do that. But on the lower time frames, that's pretty good test. We are getting a little bounce off of it now from this morning. So that's cool to break some range and get out of there. So this, is actually pretty bullish above this like 22.5-ish area. Bulls definitely trying to show their dominance here. Let's go to the weekly since we did have the weekly close yesterday. And we do have another weekly open and close. Where is my 21 moving average? Hold on, let's put that back on. My yellow one. There we go. Let's also get all the real estate here on the screen. There we go. So we do have two open and closes, 3 nice green girthy candles. Looking very good. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Vivek? Hope you're having a great Monday. Hope y'all are all having a great Monday. So we're attempting to break out here. We might get the first open and close. I guess you could argue this is an open and close above this trend line. It's like really close, but this one definitely would be as long as we don't break about that 22.5 level again. You could call this we were mentioning this the other week. white soldier, blah, 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 white, three white soldiers pattern. Man, say that 3 times fast. Yeah, we'll go check it out here in a little bit on the Nifty. Um, we do kind of have that pattern. It is a little bit weaker because each candle is a little bit smaller. Usually want them to be kind of even on that structure. And we kind of just have, you can see about half the size on each one. So this one's about half the previous. This one's about half of that one. And which makes sense because 24K is clearly mega resistance. We've had a few taps up here to get above it. And it's not quite rejection yet, but it's definitely struggling. The struggle is real. We do have a little bit of bearish divergence here on 3 times now. So we do have 1, 2, and 3 stabs coming back from like this cluster to this cluster to this new, potentially new cluster. We'll see how that plays out. But I mean, the Bulls really got to get it going from this range. Again, this month is super important. We've talked about that ad nauseum on the show, but this is it. And with Fed week, I would imagine it's probably going to happen this week. Good timing for this chart to be building right before Fed week and have the 3 stabs. So, 3 stabs, nothing is permanent or for sure in TA. This is just giving us kind of a little bit of a clue that possibly bears will try to pull it down from this level. So we got tomorrow's the monthly close, which let's look at that real quick. Oh my God, let's take this down so we don't need to see that right now. All right. This is a pretty nice monthly close, but again, you can see the 55, this orange EMA right here, and then all this structure from the last couple months, these bodies and the trend line. I mean, 24,000 is no joke. And until we start getting above that for really like a couple of weeks at least, maybe a week, but I'd like to see a couple weeks. I wouldn't call the end of the bears just quite yet. I do believe that that's premature. Now, do you have to respect bulls for this pump off of these lows and their attempt? Yeah, absolutely. This is the best that they've done pretty much since we were above 35,000. So, I'm not trying to knock them or nothing, but we just need a little bit more effort to start making, higher highs and higher lows, which we haven't established quite yet, which is going to take, more weeks to build these charts. It's not like it just happens, in 1 week, especially obviously when you're looking at the weekly. Now, do we have that on the daily? We do have the higher high portion. We do not have the higher low portion yet. I guess you kind of do have one right here on this little tiny structure. Excuse me. We do have one on the tinier structure here, but this is like the first kind of major attempt at a higher high from the longer term structure. So I put more weight on that than just, like a month or two of price action. But either way, you split it. Bulls are attempting. And this is the first time we've had 2 nice candles of open and close above the, what's up with my crosshair here? I lost the vertical one. Why is it locked? I didn't even know you could do that. What's happening here? How did that happen? Lock vertical crosshair by time. No, we don't want to do that. That's a new feature, I guess. I must have accidentally hit that. Whatever. So apparently you can lock the vertical cursor by time. I guess if you're kind of just doing quick analysis to look at the prices, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I digress. So what's going on, Anchor? What do you expect is BTC started to move an uptrend? That's an interesting way to word it. What you expect is BTC started to move an uptrend? Could you clarify that a little bit? Like, what do I need to see to clarify an uptrend? I guess that's what we're kind of talking about. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but that's what I'm looking for. I want to see 24K as major resistance, and I want to see confirmation that we're going to make a higher low on this weekly structure, which would be as long as bulls pretty much stay above about 20K and don't start testing below that, that would create the bottom side structure, and we could start looking possibly for the uptrend to continue. But that's still going to be at least a few more candles, And the monthly though will close tomorrow, and I mean, assuming it's probably gonna. I mean, it's one more day, so I mean, it's pretty safe to assume that we're gonna close above 16K. I don't really see that. I mean, anything can happen. Bitcoin's done crazier stuff, but I don't think that's a high probability. And so this monthly is actually going to close. And the January monthly chart, if you want to go check out the details on that, you can just go on my ideas. And I think it's the most recent one I have, which is actually quite old. I need to post more static stuff on here. Maybe that's something I'll work on here in the next weeks or the next few days. But anyway, you can go on there and see all the details. But January has decided tops and bottoms in Bitcoin pretty much since its existence, with only one exception with Corona, Black Swan event. So, one time, that's not too bad. And I mean, what didn't get slapped really hard during Corona? So, oh, sorry about that. I got a little alert, something in the background. I might go look at that here in a second. Anyway, back to some Bitcoin. It's looking, we do have that open and close above this range. So that's actually pretty good. Short term above like 23,000. Actually looks pretty good. Let's go to futures, see what they look like. Tapped, what do we tap here? Oh, $24,080. Right to this horizontal I have here and the trend line. So, and this is just so vertical, man. Interestingly enough, we have this gap here right at about 20K, and that's, we've talked about that on spot price. That would be a really good gap fill for futures to have the higher low structure start building from there. Like come here, come down a little bit, build that. That would actually be super constructive for bulls, and that would look very sexy for longer term price structure building. So will we get that? Maybe, who knows? We can't tell the future, but we just have to be students of the price action here. The weekly is right up underneath it, so it's not much different, except today we might get an open and close above range. We'll see. We still got 6 hours and some change before that happens. So anything in Bitcoin can happen in 6 hours, that's for sure. GBDC is just kind of floating up here. It has broken out technically on the daily. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly has too, but this is real weak. Week, that's a lot of weeks. This is really weak price action if you're just looking at GBDC. I mean, this is like double doji kind of indecision right around the trend line. It doesn't look near as good as spot price. And it actually technically hasn't even taken out this local high from November, where Bitcoin has actually done that. That's equivalent to this one right here. So pretty weak price on GBDC. And as we've discussed before, GBDC is actually a pretty good bullshit call. I don't know what's the term I'm looking for here. It calls bullshit on price action sometimes. Like the back over here is the most recent example when everybody thought we were at 69K and we were just going to go moon to 200,000. Everyone's just getting super euphoric, and GBDC never even made another high. It actually just kind of did a little double top action while Bitcoin went just a tad above these local highs set in early spring of 21. So that's kind of interesting, and I do put some weight on there, even though I hate Digital Currency Group and Grayscale and all those fucks. But good morning, sir. Good morning. Let's see. Let's go to Ethereum, Unicorn Man. Unicorn Man also kind of struggling a little bit worse with this little local high right up underneath this trend line. Well, actually, I'm sorry, not this trend line. That's the shorter daily kind of trend line I'm watching. It attempted to break out, and now we're already getting immediate rejection. That's kind of interesting. And it didn't make a new high like Bitcoin did. And funny enough, Ethereum was the leader in a lot of the price action previously when we kind of in this run over here. So it's kind of interesting that it's not really able to even get above here. Does that mean it's going to crash and burn and go to zero? Definitely not. I'm not saying that, but it's just kind of noteworthy. It's showing a little bit of weakness. And let's see. Again, just a lot of struggling right here. It's looking good, but it's not quite enough to just be like, oh, bears are gone for good. We're going to the moon, Ethereum to 10,000. I mean, it's just not, we're not seeing that yet. bulls have a lot more work to do to start saying that kind of stuff. We start breaking all the trend lines on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even traditional markets too. So it's not just, they're heavily correlated to NASDAQ specifically, which we'll be going to here in a second. And so, if NASDAQ and all those don't break out, I mean, it's very unlikely that crypto breaks out. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's just how the market's been. It's not a hedge to the market. It never has been a hedge to the market. So, you can, I guess, believe that if you want. The price does not tell us that. All right, let's go to futures. We do have a few. Oh my God, that thing is getting kind of annoying. I'm sorry. We do have a few candles now. We do have a gap too, though, on a weekly, all the way down at about 1420-ish. It's a great number. And we are struggling here too. So futures are agreeing with spot right up underneath some major resistance and local high right here at about 1650. So, it's okay. It's trying. Bulls are trying, not knocking them, but they just got more work to do before this can be declared as bear market finito. Litecoin got almost to its $100 area. We were kind of looking for that on the last video because it just looked. I mean, this has actually had higher highs and higher lows for quite a while since back over here in October in the early fall. On a weekly structure too. Now, does it have it against the long-term structure? No, that would have to be at about 125. If we get up here and then start retesting this and defending 100, then you can start saying, okay, bears are probably exhausted to the full, and we could look for some moonshots. But this is still constructive as hell and looks very good above mid 70s. And we did tap pretty much about that 100 level. We were almost about $2 shy of it. So still looking pretty decent, to be fair. Anything above about 90-ish, maybe 88 to 90. Litecoin still does look pretty good. So it is definitely one that's defying most of the market and also even above its 55 moving average here, which also resides at about, upper mid 80s, about 86 or so. So not too shabby. Ethereum Classic, weak sauce, just going sideways as hell, right on the 21, right below 24 bucks. So nothing really different there. The weekly isn't giving us any new data, just kind of whatever. Even if we zoom into the daily, it's crunch time here. Anything back below like 20 bucks, I'd look for at least probably 18-ish. But oh my God, it's doing it again. Okay, just give me 1 second here. I'm gonna close this out real fast because I actually really hate that sound. It's annoying, and I have it that way for a reason, so I can hear it. All right, we're gonna close that because it'll do that like freaking all day. All right, so that's closed. There we go. All right, no more annoying old school telephone ringing. My apologies. So same kind of struggle here. You can see this mega range from about 2050 to about 2250. So not too shabby. Yeah, that back on that noise is a quick thing I thought of is like I accidentally left that on one time overnight and had my computer super loud and that shit just woke me up. I was like, what the hell? I just like jumped out of bed. Some super loud ass old school ringing. It's like a horror movie almost. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the weekly. Yeah, so lackluster price action on Ethereum Classic. Kind of same for, it's probably going to be the same for most of these shit coins. We're trying, struggling, but we didn't get any new data really on the week. I mean, we got this weekly open and close above the 21, but I mean, that's pretty weak sauce. And again, I really do think most of this stuff is waiting on Mama Bear, aka Bitcoin, to break that 24K area. And until then, we're probably just going to keep lollygagging. Same thing with XLM. Let's zoom in on this. It looks like it's trying to break this trend line. Yes, it is, which is fairly vertical. Not really threatened on the daily until we really start breaching 888, the triple eights, lucky triple eights there. Yeah, kind of same crap with TRX. It's trying to break out of this descending triangle. We did already get the test the other side of range here, but not likely to keep running until Bitcoin breaks that 24K. There are a few, like Doge is one, Litecoin is one. XMR is one, TON is one. You know, there's always something that's not going to follow the whole market. Always a bull market somewhere, right? We do have a nice little green candle print in here, but again, it's struggling right on the 21, still not making a higher high yet on the weekly. So, you know, not enough to be super excited. Same with Cardano, same crap. I mean, we're not really getting much new information yet, which kind of makes sense as we approach the Fed week. People get a little scared or giddy or just emotional around this week and kind of want to get it out of the way, so they don't have to think about it because everybody, again, just loves the Fed. They protect us in the markets. Yay. Anyway, mid-range here, nothing, absolutely no new data on this. And yeah, maybe we got a close above the 21, but I mean, against structure, this is whatever. This literally is nothing. EOS, same thing, just not any new data. Bitcoin Cash. All right, well, Bitcoin Cash is actually doing something different. We got a nice two opening closes above the 21. So that's implying a shorter term trend change. So above about 125, Bitcoin Cash actually does look better than the others. Let's see on the daily. Yeah, we've got, man, but see, again, we do have that three stabs of bearish divergence on these daily structures, and the daily structure is nothing to sleep on. So definitely a little cautious here around this price action. It's just almost there. It's the same narrative as it's been for, hell, I guess the last 2 weeks now. But again, nice, okay, decent. One of those, pick one above 125. I just really want Bitcoin to be above 24K to start gung hoing and looking for moonshots, or at least mini moonshots, not like all time high kind of shit. Oh, Craig's vision is not doing very good. This is sell-off vision. It's Bitcoin sell-off vision. Nothing is actually happening at all in this. Pretty lame. All right, XMR is one of them that is doing different. It's actually above the Eller's Mama average, this purple line, and also above this structure from August. So that's nice. That's all the way back to the summer. Next spot is here. You can see we are getting a little resistance at about 190-ish. But this is looking a lot better than most coins, and above 170, I can't hate this one, even though Mama Bear is not above 24K. So this is a little bit of an exception to the rule so far at this point. So Monero, man, looks like it kind of wants to tag. I mean, 200 would probably be the obvious round number that it wants to tag first, but ultimately 240 is the major resistance on this structure. You know, the longer it holds above about 170, 175, that keeps becoming in play. In a couple more weeks above here, you know, we're probably going to get to 21 crossing the 55, and it'll be interesting. The one thing that would destroy this is if Bitcoin starts selling off. I'm pretty sure that this would follow through. Zcash being lame as hell. What the hell ever. This is terrible. It's way below. This doesn't have any kind of pretty much strength whatsoever. I mean, I guess it's trying on the daily right here to push up, but it's meh, very meh. Dash is actually pumping today a little bit. It's one of the only green things on the board. Got a few weeks above the 21. That's nice. We are attempting to break this trend line, but again, it's the first week for an open and close. We'll see how that works. We still got almost the whole entire week, though, so I want to get ahead of ourselves. But still, bulls are tempting. Got to give them a little bit of credit. Let's see if they can hold this up. And above about 54 bucks is probably about the line there. We start getting back below that, you know, then we're back in this stupid range. And then you got to wait for it to get out of range again. Doji, what's Doji doing? The Sheeb's still climbing up this trend line. It's still looking fairly good. I mean, I don't see anything on the oscillators. It does kind of have that bearish divergence. We got like a little triangle here. It's almost like a flag on RSI, so that's interesting. But still the same shit, different day, above about 8.5 cents on this, and it's perfectly fine. Don't see any really major issues with the meme Lord coin. Let's see. We are kind of struggling here, probably at the 618. It looks like, yeah, we are in the 618. So, um, man, maybe after the Fed, we'll get some emotional release, and we can either get pumps or dumps. I don't know. We'll see. Should be a pretty eventful week, I'm imagining here. Oh, look at this. Getting some volume. Are we? Hold on, let me zoom in on here. Nope, just kidding. Nope, there's no volume on the hexagons. We are trying to make some higher highs and higher lows on the daily, on the real intermediate structure for the year. Um, I mean, but still, whatever. This is pretty shit, below 3 cents. Let's just skip that crap. H&T, lackluster for the last 2 weeks. Just, we got a little shooting star doji with another little doji, and we're getting a little sell pressure, and it's well below. It's 21, and I mean, it's just not a great looking coin right now. VeChain, same shit as a lot of other charts as the October, early fall bodies. It's trying, but it's just not really quite there yet. Need just more closes up here in Bitcoin to be over 24K, man. Nice pump on Radix though the last few days. We were watching this one. I don't know, my buddy loves this coin. I don't know, whatever, but it did pump really hard. Is this going to be sustained? Will Bitcoin get over 24K? Because this shit could easily just dump all the way back to 4 cents with a quickness. You see how fast it went up? It can go that fast down. But it will be building bullish structure above about 4.8 pennies. So yeah, maybe something there if it can kind of hold 4.8. Other than that, you can see it's rallied to all this horizontal resistance and structure, and you can see the bears are already rejecting price at that point. So a lot of work to do there. Let's see here, Adam. What is Cosmos doing? Oh, look, it looks the same as everything else almost. How cool. But hey, we are got a couple weeks above the 21 and the trend line, but now we're testing the actual where the trend changes is when you start getting above the orange and this purple, which would coincide with making higher highs as well. If you kind of notice that on a lot of these charts, it's trying, but you can see we're below. Like RSI is like getting back into like the neutral zone. It's also below these two lines here. It's kind of a special moving average I have on these, and so the momentum is definitely not there. An easier way to see that for an indicator everyone can get for free is the DMI, and above 26 I call the power zone, and when you're below that, it's still decent because the bears are way down here in the forgotten zone, which is like 10 and below. But when you lose the momentum and you lose 26, I mean, it's noteworthy. And again, we're just kind of getting this bearish divergence on the dailies building on a lot of these shit coins. So just something to kind of keep an eye on. That needs to be resolved by the bears. By the bulls to go ahead and negate that, which would probably coincide with Bitcoin above 24K. Everything revolves around Mama Bear, hence its name. Yeah, whatever. This is not really that sexy. Yeah, this is a pretty shit chart here. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you really wanted to trade this above like 85 cents, it looks okay. But anything below 85, man, you're probably coming down to the 70s. Not my favorite chart. This one still looks pretty decent. Pump. We're testing the lows, or I'm sorry, the highs of this structure here. This kind of like little ascending type triangle. So, I mean, if it stays above this 230 area, not too shabby. You start getting below there, and it starts to look a little funky. Ultimately, though, let's go to the weekly and look at it's about 220 on the weekly. So, I mean, not too shabby. I mean, this is one that has been defying the market, too, with Litecoin and Monero. So, very interesting. And on that note, those coins, if they're doing that now, like in bear market mode, and they're actually making higher highs and higher lows, showing some relative strength, these ones will probably run super hard, or they have a higher probability of running harder to the upside once Bitcoin actually breaks out and starts making higher highs and higher lows. So just kind of a little note there. Let's see the majors now. Oh, what did this guy want to look at? The Nifty 50s. Oh, righty. Let's see. The Nifty 50. I haven't looked at that in a while. Let's go to the futures. The Nifty. Oh, terrible. I do not like this chart at all. This is not a great looking chart. I mean, this looks pretty bearish below about 17.9. We'll just round it up a little bit. Yeah, it looks pretty bearish below 17.9 on the daily. On the weekly, it doesn't look as bad. So that's got conflicting time frames there. So on the daily, it's kind of breaking down. On the weekly, one could argue this is touching the tops of this little funky possible bullish reversal pattern. I wouldn't. It's kind of like an inverted head and shoulders, sort of. But so you could argue it's kind of testing the neckline of this little sloppy pattern. So maybe above like 1740, but I'm sorry, 17,400. It's okay. I don't like this daily structure though. I'd be watching the daily on this and see the price action, what happens. If bulls can like defend this area pretty good, I'd say above, yeah, about 17.4 is also that level on the daily. So that's going to be kind of the line in the sand. That's how I would treat this trade. Anything below there, it starts to get pretty damn bearish. And again, you can even see this trend line right here has been violated, even with a retest of it sideways and a little bit of continuation. So bears are definitely trying to gain momentum on the daily chart on this one. All right, let's go to ES. So ES had a great close last week. What time is it here? All right, 9:36. Cool. I've got to go have lunch with the kiddo here in about an hour, so trying to watch my times. Let's see. ES had a nice weekly close. You can see we were looking at the 4080s area, which is exactly where we closed, around mid 480s. That is the line kind of in the sand for bulls. We start getting above that. That's like the equivalent of 24K on Bitcoin. And you can see we are getting rejection from there so far. Yes, it's only been a day. So, one day doesn't make a trend. But it's noteworthy, and it's also showing that this is the point of contention for bulls, is that 4080 area. It's confirming that zone. Will we break over this? Nobody knows. Fed time is on Wednesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Central Standard. So that might give us the momentum to either break up or maybe just push this back down, depending kind of how the market receives all that. I mean, the way they're doing all this data revisions, like they just revised the jobs report and they took away literally like every single job on that thing, y'all. Like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Let me look at my buddy sent me this text this morning and I was like, get this shit out of here. So he said, the BLS quietly revised the full second quarter of 2022. It's like, oh, they just like, oh, let's pad that number real quick. And they said, oh my God, shut up, phone. They said, so it was a gain of 1.1 million jobs, and then they revised it to an actual loss of minus 287,000. So they switched it 1.4 million downward revision. Like, what kind of shit is that, man? Government data, y'all, just hilarious. Anyway, they just kind of fudged the numbers, just like they've changed the CPI calculation 3 or 4 times in the last year. I mean, they're really trying to pad stuff. Pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm also cautious of just getting too bullish this year, just off of kind of the backs of that and everyone laying people off and other things. I mean, could it be hoopla and we rally to new highs this year? Yeah, for sure. But it's just kind of interesting. Watch the price. It'll tell you. You don't have to read all that stuff. You can literally just watch price action. All this knows a lot more than you do or any individual. This is like the collective information of every single person involved in the market. So anyway, I digress. Whoops. Derp. Anyway, so this looks okay. We just really need to get above that 40-80 level, and we tested it last week, stalled, and we're right up underneath it. It's attempting to break out, but you can see we're actually not even in the power zone on the weekly yet. We're actually pretty shy of it. Let's go to the daily. Maybe we're on it. Yeah, we're on it on the daily now after the last week. So interesting. Need some more data. It's close, and with the Fed this week, that probably will give us some resolution on this, whether we're going to break out to the upside, which would be a target of almost 4,300. So that'd be a pretty good move. And also on the downside, we'd probably look for a test to like 39, and anything below like 3,900 on this starts to get a little bit scary, and I'd be looking for a test of these lows down here. So that's kind of how I'm reading that chart. Coffee time, perfect money. What's up, dude? Hope you're having a good day. Drinking that coffee. Let's go. I'm a tea guy myself, but hey, to each his own. We do have an open and close on above 21 and on the trend line here that goes all the way back to last December. So that's kind of sexy. Major resistance here at about 12.3, which is we were kind of looking at last week. We are kind of getting a rejection pretty hard on the daily here. Interesting. But it could just be coming back to test this like 11.9-ish zone, maybe 11.8 and change. Or we are flipping the slope on the moving averages, so it's not terrible. This isn't terrible on the daily. Again, the bulls are like trying to take reins here, but it's just not quite enough. Like we just need more time. We can't be like, oh yeah, it's all bullish now. It's great. Everything load up, all in. Let's go. Leverage them all in, man. Options expired next month. No, we're not quite there. Like again, one candle doesn't define a trend, especially when we've been down for like a year straight. So bulls still got a lot of work to do. And you can see the last time it rallied real hard right up to the 55 and this trend line cross, it immediately got rejected and then made a lower low. So almost there. Could we make a higher high and then a higher low on this structure? Yeah, absolutely we could. If we don't breach like 11.7-ish, 11.8-ish, for the next couple weeks, that would actually make a higher high and higher low. So that would look kind of sexy, but we're just not quite there yet. Almost, y'all. Hold on to your horses. Oh, let's see here. Momentum's kind of waning on this chart. I mean, it's just been going sideways as hell for all the way back to November. Wow, that's interesting on the Dow. I mean, look at this sideways chop fest 3,000, man. There is like no one has momentum on this. I mean, it's as sideways and chop fest as it can get. So we're pretty much just in this range. So a strategy on stuff like this is you can trade the ranges and short the tops, buy the bottoms, do both, only do one. Some people don't like to short, whatever. Some people don't like to long. But range trading can be pretty lucrative. The issue is with range trading that usually bites you is your ego will come in when it finally breaks the range. And then you'll be like, oh, no, it's going to come back in it. No, do not do that. When price goes outside of a range, especially an established one like this for like a couple of months or longer, when it finally breaks and you get open and closes below or above it, that's the side the momentum is probably going to go to. Like more than likely not. So don't get stuck in there, take the loss, move on. But a lot of times you can tag these many a times before it breaks the range. So because you can see, the range was established pretty much right around here, probably off of this structure, so like mid-January. And the way I like to do ranges is like kind of short the top quarter. Let's just for shorts, I'd like to look for price around the top quarter of the price structure, and then only look not too aggressive. I'm not trying to take it all the way to the bottom, but look to take it off maybe in the middle third somewhere, and then vice versa on the bottom too, buying the bottom quarter, same thing. So that's range trading can be extremely lucrative. Just when it does break, just bail. That's kind of the rule on that one because it can end up biting you really hard. And I have done that numerous times. So sideways, not too shabby. PNC, yeah, we can look at PNC. here in a sec. Let me get through the rest of these. I'm going to go super fast. We are attempting to break out. We're still on the trend line. EMAs are sloping upwards. I mean, we've got the bulls have got the lower time frame structure to take this. They really do. They just need to actually confirm they're going to do it. And if it doesn't break down by the Fed meeting, I would probably look for that to happen. But all you got to do is watch price action. We start losing and coming back into, let's see, the 18, pretty much really below like 1890-ish and losing this trend line. We probably just get right back in this stupid range. And you can kind of see this range is something about like, oh my goodness, hold up. Something about like that. And if we get back in there, then it's range fest again, which is actually a very wide one, to be fair. It's about 10%. So, which we've been bouncing up and down 10% for the last handful of months, which is pretty wild. And VIX is 20 and below usually. All right, let's skip to the Dow Jones Trans Index. Kind of struggling here. Possibly breakout. We are getting the slopes. Same shit, different day on the story for most of these charts. They all kind of look the same. Losing this trend line cross and this price structure at about 14,020. Let's just call it 14,000 even. I would look for that as a breakdown and probably lower prices. But and conversely to the upside, about 14.7. So just kind of lollygagging here. VIX, whatever. VIX is dead right now. We'll look at it real quick just because it might have an H pattern right here. The H pattern is pretty significant, and I don't hear it talked about too much. But it's really a cool pattern too. I actually really like it. You don't see it a lot, but it just makes a little H. And the cool thing about them is they resolve usually really fast. Just on a little side note real quick. They usually resolve super fast, and because it's an H for a little bit, and usually if it keeps going like this and whatever, then nope, it's gone. It's done. You don't want it to really be longer than about half of the hump part. So you got the H, and usually it's hard to short into these. So if it breaks below the bottom of this, you can use this as like a measured move, and you can kind of do like that as a measured move. But if not, and they usually don't break down. If not, they usually will bounce hard, and then they'll consolidate above the little hump, and that's actually super bullish. You see that kind of structure, you can usually target the other side of range on that. Whoops. You can usually target the other side of range on that. So in this example, you are getting a nice pump, and we get back over like 2050 on this. You know, we could target probably like 23 bucks on VIX. So, you know, VIX doesn't respect the TA super good, but just as an example of an H pattern, we will see those around here and there. So, and I'll try to point them out if I do see them. All right, let's go to oil. Rejection at that 82.50 level. And we're getting continuation too. So we got continuation Friday. We're getting follow through today. So this is actually looking a little bit bearish below 80.50 now. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, right under the 21 too. The slopes haven't changed on the daily. So a little bit bearish on oil below the 80 handle. We got some decent support about 77 handle. You can see it actually bounced so far. Let's go zoom in a little bit on the 3 hour. You actually see it went to the 77 handle, and we are getting confirmation that that is a little point of contention there so far. But yeah, not looking too great for oil. We lose 77 bucks. This thing is probably going down to lower 70s. So nat gas can't do anything. It's just getting absolutely mollywopped pretty much every day. It is staying kind of above the 280 level. Please, I want to withdraw my money, and I can't do it. I'm new to this. What, dude? That doesn't even make any sense, Mad W. I want to withdraw your money. I can't do that, dude. I can't withdraw your money for you. The hell does that mean? Please help me withdraw my money. Okay, send me your wallet address and your social security number and your name and your birthday and your wife's name and your mom's maiden name, and we'll definitely pull that out for you. I'm obviously joking, but like, I mean, what a comment. I don't know what to say besides being sarcastic with that. But Anyway, as long as this is kind of holding about 280, it could be okay. Staying inside this body, which we did have a sheet ton of volume on. Whoa, let's zoom out so you can see that a little bit better. We had a lot of volume on this, and it was actually the most volume we've seen in holy crap, like the whole time this new contract has been out. So, noteworthy. And we're going into February. So maybe we do get some cold snaps. It's real cold here in Texas right now. We got some winter storm that came in. So I don't know. Maybe we get a little bit of pump to the structure here to like 340. But right now it's whatever. Bro, you've been searching all day. You want a tutorial? Yeah, dude, I'll give you a tutorial. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, just send all your money to Zrex at Noiz my bank account and it'll be great. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that means, man. If you're serious about something about like crypto or something getting money out, I could probably help with that, but I feel like you'd be trolling, bruh. Anyway, bonds kind of struggling here a little bit. Major point of contention at about 129. These might get some big movements on Wednesday. We'll see. Dollar, euro, what's euro doing? Euro kind of just struggling. Major resistance at about 110. Same shit as last week. Nothing really to add to that. This is a super aggressive move on currencies, though. Wouldn't be surprised for this to cool off and come back and test like mid-dollar area. Gold, what's gold doing? Let's see. Oh, gold's actually trying to gap today. Let's see the weekly. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It looks pretty good. This real big vertical move, though, is not my favorite. Y'all know I don't like that. I don't like super straight up price action. I would like to see this cool off and come back and test like 1880s and then have some continuation. That would look really sexy because the more vertical and straight up we go, the more straight down that we will most likely go. The timing of that is super hard, obviously. Lower lows, lower highs still on silver. The struggle at that 2420 level, y'all, is just super real. I mean, here's range trading right here. Here's a hell of a range on silver. Look at this. About 23, low 23s in that 2420. We're just ping every day. Look at this. We're ping ponging in there. So on that range trading strategy I was mentioning, this bitch would be paying a lot every day. I probably should implement that in my trading strats right now. There's just so many things to trade and so many things to follow. Sometimes it's overwhelming and you can be sitting at your computer for freaking 8 hours doing that stuff. But this one's a pretty easy one. And SLV, you could actually use options on this to lower your risk. Do like little call spreads or put spreads or something. Sell calls, sell puts. I know a lot of people don't know about that. If we want to talk options more on the show, we can definitely do that. Just let me know. Let's see. Platinum. Okay, see, this is where I like kind of where gold. I was saying gold come back and retest that upper 1800s. This is doing that now, testing that 1,000 level. So I actually kind of like that as a retest zone. And what we'd like to see now over the next week or two is bulls run this back up and attempt to make a new high at about like over 1,100. So this is kind of looking good. Back below though, like 980. You gotta question the bulls there. They might not look too great. Let's see. GDX is attempting to stay bid above 32. That's very important. I don't like last week's candle. That is a type of rejection candle. It's not my favorite, and we do have this very steep slope on the trend line. So very cautious here on metals. And why isn't silver breaking out? It's had the time to do it, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm very cautious of that. And again, that's like a lot of stuff too, like crypto's in that same boat. All right, let's go to PNC that Anthony wanted to go look at. Tony, let's go, Tony. Tone. PNC, oh yeah, Bankman. Oh yeah, you like to look at banks from last week, didn't you? All right, so this chart is interesting. Let's see what time it is real quick. Okay, I got a little bit of time. Probably got about 10 minutes here. If anybody wants me to look at a ticker, post that in the chat troll box now. Can I please respond? I'm TradingView platform. You can't deposit money in TradingView, dude. They're not a broker. I have no idea what you're trying to do, man. I literally have no context with that. I can't really help you on that one, man. I mean, if send a ticket to your broker. Like TradingView doesn't do brokers. They only let you connect to brokers via like APIs and stuff. Like I use TradeStation down here. You can see it logged in. And so I just connect to them and I trade through TradingView. But TradingView is just a charting platform. They don't handle money. So yeah, I'm not really sure, man. Sorry. Um, yeah, without more context. I mean, plus withdrawing money from brokers is pretty straightforward most of the time. Send them a chat ticket or support ticket. So PNC definitely, it's been range trading like a mofo since last summer, ping ponging between 150, 165. It is hovering. I do kind of like that it's hovering above the previous highs over here, man. This chart goes back a long time. Let's go to the monthly. I do like that it is hovering above this 155, like the 150 handle. That's pretty good. The one thing that sucks, especially on monthlies, and when you're between the 55 and 21 EMA and you can't get out of either side, that is major indecision by both sides, bulls and bears. So I would say this is cool for the bulls if it breaks like 169. And for the Bears, it's cool if it breaks about 150. But until it does that, this thing is just going to continue to ping pong between these ranges, which is very clearly defined, about something like so. So until it gets out of this range, man, like it's not really like taking directionals on this is like 50-50 at best. Like if you want to be super long or super short, either way, don't know what you're trying to do, but it's 50-50 on this kind of structure. I would wait for it to break because I mean it's not even that far either way. I mean when you're talking 6% either way. I mean what's 6%? Because once it breaks one of these ranges, you can probably expect it to go to like a 618 on each side, which is about 190 on the upper side, and then if we look at this downside, is about 120. So 190 and 120 are the targets, depending on the range that it goes to. And I mean, that could be 20% to the downside and about 15% to the upside. So it's better to wait, I think, for confirmation on this for it to break and then play that side. Because, like, otherwise, it's literally a 50-50 bet. And yeah, you can take 50-50 bets for sure, but, it's better to have a little bit more conviction. You can't see my boxes. Well, what the hell, bro? It's a red box, man. Well, you can see the box, or you can see the structure, though. And I mentioned all the numbers, too. 169, 150. It's red, man. I can see it on my stream thing. I don't know, maybe you got to change the colors on your screen or something. Because I'm looking at my the preview screen on TradingView, and I can see it on there. I don't know. But yeah, I mentioned those numbers, 170, about 150-ish. Until it gets out of that range, I don't know. I probably wouldn't really mess with it. Again, just 50-50 on the shot there. Let's see. What else do we want to look at? I think that's probably about it. Unless, man, all the sectors are pretty much down today. Like everything. Nothing's really shining. Oh, if y'all don't know, this is a good website to check out. FinViz. They got all kinds of cool stuff on there. And I really love their heat map. You can see this nice heat map with all kinds of stuff. Maybe you're searching for something you want to trade or something that's moving big. Just kind of get a general feel of the whole market. And you can change it too. This is just the S&P. You can go to the world. You can go look at sheds apparently. So I don't know. This website's been around for a long time. You probably know about it, but if not, then now you do. And it's a really good informative website. But anyway, yeah, so looks like we're kind of having just a mixed bag today. A lot of people are bearish here. You got this stupid ticker over here. Sometimes I like to look at it. Here, let's make it bullish. We'll click on it for the bulls. All right, I'm not necessarily bullish, but I'll just click on there. Why not? Let's see. Let's look at some of these. Man, just sell. There's a lot of selling today, man. There is definitely a lot of selling. Let's look at the majors real quick. I'm just curious. what they're doing, because I do have a position on there. Yeah, they're kind of just down from the sell-off overnight, just kind of holding the lows. Actually, let's go to NQs. Yeah, NQ is kind of trying to break down. Looks like it wants to test about 11,850 or so. So another 200 points down. Let's see here. I think that's about it. Unless anyone wants me to go check something out, I'll be signing off here shortly. Let's see. Yeah, most everything is kind of selling off. Let's look at blockchain stuff. Yeah, blockchain stuff is selling off. Oh, Coors isn't though. Coors has been pumping, man. Woo, damn. But look at this. Be very careful of this, y'all. This is on like minuscule volume. You can see, I mean, it barely pops up on the chart. This could easily turn into a little exit pump like this one. Just like, oh yeah, look how amazing it is, and then it's like, oh, just kidding, and it goes back to the range. But hey, you know, pretty decent pump there. Hell, that's 3x, man, 10 to 30 cents in the last 4 days. Yeah, that's probably not sustainable, especially on no volume too. But hey, it's doing something different than the rest of the market. Had a real nice consolidation here. I got some options on this, so that's nice. The Qs, he likes the Qs. We'd already done talked about the Qs, bro. We done did the Qs. MicroStrategy, just vertical. All this stuff is pretty vertical. Yeah, pretty much the same type charts as most of the crypto stuff. Let's look at some nuclear stocks. Uranium. Man, big range on uranium. Man, uranium might be attempting breakout here above about 790. Then we'd have a target of like 10 bucks. And then below like 580, the target's like 450. Oh, QQQs. Man, you need to upgrade to futures, bro. It's the same chart, but futures is more better. See, look, here's the Q, or here's NQ, and here's the QQQs. It's literally the exact same chart. I mean, it's based off the same thing. Futures are just better because I get confused by these numbers. It's not like, it's just 291. Like, what the hell? It's not any reference to this number at all. It's just like, what? 12,291. But I mean, it's the same thing if you just say, I mean, look, like you literally couldn't tell when I switched to that. Like, oh, look, boom. Oh, boom. It's like the same chart. So, I mean, the Qs are fine right now. They look pretty bullish until we lose. I mean, it's pretty bullish above like 11.8. That's what we were saying earlier. You get above 11.8. I mean, and that's for the Qs. It's going to be the same level. Well, it'll be about 291-ish. I mean, so as long as it's above that, it's okay for the bulls. Below that, you know, probably just comes back into this range. And then we play the range game again. Yay, more range. So exciting. Woo. Oh, let's see. Let's go back to this Duke Nukem stuff. Man, look at this. We're getting, because the narrative, we talked about this last week or the week before, the narrative for green energy and nuclear has definitely been flipping over the last year. So apparently nuclear is becoming green now. So, you know, maybe Greta loves it and she'll give the stamp of approval from her 14-year-old expertise or whatever the shit she does. Man, yeah, I mean, look at this. This NLR nuclear, uranium nuclear ETF is actually attempting breakout right now. This actually looks pretty damn bullish, about 57 bucks, y'all. Interesting. It kind of sucks because it's hard for like entries on this because it's already like run really hard. UUU, UEC probably look like the better plays to me if this does end up breaking out. I need to do a little research on some of these other more obscure ones. I mean, this is 2 cents, so obviously that's going to be extremely risky. Oh, we are having this little rounded base on Bloom Energy, so above about 25 bucks starts to look good. But like the UUU, this for entries, you know, this could be decent if we break that 250 level. It's just real tough to do on these kind of charts for sure. Alrighty, let's see. I think that is all. I believe that is it. Greta's for the streets. Good old Greta. Good old Greta. Water stonks. If you don't know about those, these are actually really good long-term plays to buy in recessions, depressions, whatever the hell you want to call them, or don't call them, which apparently we're never in a recession. And then when they say we're in a recession, we're like, that's it. It's like over. I'm actually doing some analysis I'll share with you guys here in the future about that. I've been looking up articles from 08, '07 and see when they actually declared recession because now it's just like, are we in one? Are we about to be in one? Watch out, it's looming. But it's not like we're in one, even though we had two negative GDP quarters and a 20% decline from the all-time high on the S&P. They still were like, no, that doesn't count. We got to change the definition on that one too. So anyway, I'm going to show some articles and some analysis I was doing on that, just for like sentiment kind of stuff. But anyway, back to this water chart. Look at this shit. I mean, does that look? I mean, this is monthly. This bitch is just steadily up. Ooh, a little blip here. Oh my God, it's down 8%. It did get slapped a little bit. And Corona, again, black swans, nothing really gets away from that. But I mean, 24%, that's nothing. And it really like rallied all the way back up. You want to look at Japan? What's up, Daft Cloud? How you doing? Japan, yeah, we'll look at that real quick. I guess you're talking about the Nikkei, I would assume. Yeah, but water stonks, man. Just keep an eye on those for long-term plays. Look at this one, goes back to the 70s, man. I mean, this is just an epic chart. And I don't I don't feel like I hear a lot of people talk about investing in water. Yeah, sometimes it's boring. It went sideways for a long time. But look at this. It went sideways during the '08 crash. It didn't even dump. Like, I mean, it did dump for like a second, but immediately just went back in its range and was like, oh, I'm fine. So pretty interesting. I'm working on like building a little water, just a ETF, kind of the little stock basket that can defy lots of bear markets, if you will. So I'll share that with y'all at some point too, after I kind of iron it out some more. All right, we're gonna do Nikkei, and then I'm gonna wrap, and then I'm gonna sign off. So let's go to the Nikkei. God, Nikkei is dude. This is a monthly. Jesus Christ, it's been sideways as shit for a year, really a couple of years. Let's zoom in a little bit. Weekly, sideways as shit. Blech, this line doesn't mean anything anymore. Let's dump that. Dude, what the hell, man? Lame. I mean, you definitely got just this box range. I guess we'll brighten this up a little bit. Maybe we'll change the color. How about blue? Oh, blue is a little too bright. Let's do a darker blue. I just don't like to have my charts too loud. Yeah, I mean, this looks okay, but it's just in a major big range, man. I mean, I don't really have anything to take away from this until it breaks above this top part at about 28,500 or breaks below like 26,000. In between that, it's just ping ponging like it has been. And we're like smack dab in the middle of the range right now. So this is super 50-50 for directional bets. Could be a good place to do like a strangle or like an iron condor or something like that, where you wrap the price around the upper and lower side of the range since you're right in the middle of it. But other than that, I can't really extrapolate too much off of this. It's just super. Yeah, see, this is why I like that lighter color. Just kind of already pissing me off for the just too much. I like to have cleaner charts. Oh no, don't do that. I'm adding borders. And what am I doing? Adding borders and doing. Oh my god, don't do that. Let's lower this color here just a little bit. Maybe I can do like a super lighter blue. How about purple? Does purple work? Yeah, purple looks a little bit better. Maybe that works. I don't know. Episode 240, the fission cable episode of uranium. Nice, Daft. So yeah, we're kind of just in the middle of the range. It just is like a meh chart. I wouldn't take any directional bets on this. You did miss an opportunity a few weeks ago to buy the bottom of the range. I mean, maybe you didn't. Maybe you bought it, but now you're like right in the middle, and you kind of are testing the underbelly of this consolidation over here. So there could be some resistance, but man, yeah, this is tough. It's range bound until it ain't. That's pretty much this chart. All right, so Mama Bear, we're gonna wrap up real fast. Rallying, it's just chilling. It still can't get over 24K. Until it does that, I can't get super excited. Like I almost want to get excited, but we're just not quite there yet. It's attempting to break out, but we just need mo datter, and we just don't quite have it yet. And we got the Fed week or the Fed this week on Wednesday, so maybe we get some resolution on these patterns if the market likes whatever Powell wants to spew out of his mouth. Either way, I don't know. I don't listen to those. Don't really care because the price usually already has that shit built in anyway. So, and usually people are like, oh my God, the market moves so crazy. But when you look at the greater picture, it just kind of oscillates in the range that it's already built. Yeah, so of course there's outliers sometimes and it cuts through and dumps hard or whatever. Like if they did like a 50 or 75 point raise this week and surprised everybody, that definitely would. But they usually don't bullshit on the what they say they're going to do, like rate wise increases or decreases or whatever. So. All right. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I hope you'll have an awesome week. We'll be back on Wednesday morning again. So the schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and I'm still haven't nailed the time down, but it will be between 9 and 11 a.m. Today we did 9, so just kind of look out on the time frame for that. And I'm hoping by the next week or so I'll have a hard time set for that, so you can kind of plan around that for your day to drink some coffee or tea or beer or whatever the hell you drink, some juice, and look at some charts with us. I'll appreciate y'all being here, and I will see y'all on Wednesday. Peace.